Here is Sedenya. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. And this cute little mare got here on Tuesday, I believe. Yes, she got here on Tuesday. So she's been here for a few days. She just had her first post track ride today. And she is super adorable. She has a fantastic face with a big old Roman nose and a cute little star. I just think she's really pretty. She's a 3 year old. She's a 15 3 hand 3 year old. So certainly she's not done growing. I would expect that she'll probably finish around 16 hands. She's actually really well bred. She's by Catholic Boy, who I'm not familiar with, but that's a more than ready line. And she's out of a Malibu Moon mare on the bottom. So really well bred little mare. So she had three very unsuccessful starts where she never hit the board. She ran once as a 2 year old, and then she had two starts this summer. Her last was on 7/22, so she's exactly a month post track. Her racing connections wanted to send her to me, like the day after that race. However, I know I feel like I've said this a million times. I'm full, I've got a line, so she actually got to get kicked out and just turned out at my friend Jody's place for the last couple of weeks. So she didn't really need any letdown because she came off the track, super sound and clean and feeling great in her body. But she got it anyway because she needed to wait for a spot to open up here. So she's been turned out the last couple of weeks, 24/7, big mixed herd, big grass field type environment. She's done great. Since she's been here now, she's out at night, and I've got her out at night with icing in my jump field, and they're doing really well together. And they were turned out together at Jody's place also, so they actually already knew each other, which is very cute. So yeah, she's doing really well. She's just, your very typical 3 year old with a handful of starts. She doesn't know anything, but she also doesn't know anything bad. So she's just a completely neutral blank slate. She has no clue what the contact is, but she has absolutely, like no negative um, reaction to it whatsoever. She just needs to learn. She needs to learn all the things. She doesn't know anything, but she is super in her brain. She seems like she has a really quiet, reasonable brain. She's really cute movement. So she's going to be quite fancy. And actually, she's obviously not that big of a horse, but she has quite a ground covering stride in the trot and in the canter. So I actually think she's going to be quite fancy, and somebody really could make her up into a pretty special little horse. And she's just very pretty and sporty, I have to say. I really do like the look of her, actually. So, for a 3 year old with a couple of starts, she's steering super well. She's being super reasonable about literally everything. She's not giving me any nonsense about the gait or being super stuck leaning on one shoulder or another. She's not being spooky or reactive or anything. She's actually just being totally wonderful. And so obviously she doesn't understand the contact or have any idea about the connection. And I'm not going to, cram this down her throat. She needs to learn it in a way that makes sense to her, and so she certainly does not need to get it on her first post track ride. But I am having a little conversation with her, so it's not like I'm not touching her mouth at all, and she's being totally reasonable. And you can see that she's just sort of taking it all in. Part of the reason she's carrying her head a little high is because this is her first post track ride in a brand new place, and she's just sort of looking around and taking it all in, which is completely reasonable because she's taking it in a reasonable way. She was excellent at the mounting block, but it was just me and Billy for this video. So Billy stood with her while I got on. Next time I won't need anybody to stand with her, and we'll get some video of it, but she was very good at the mounting block. No problems there. She actually has a really fantastic canter, which I think you're about to see here coming up. So Sedenya is super sound, super clean. There's not a hair out of place on her. Legs are perfectly, cold and tight, and all her joints look perfect. And she has actually really great little feet. So there's not a speck out of place on her to note in terms of her soundness or health or any of that. She looks great. She's got a couple of nicks on her from, being turned out, living with other horses, but nothing but a few superficial scrapes. This is our canter transition. Of course, she doesn't quite understand a canter transition, but that actually wasn't too bad. Just a couple of big trot steps before we stepped into the canter. And I did start sitting because I just wanted to make sure that, all was well and we were on the same page. But it just sort of felt like she would be able to use her back a little bit better if I got into half seat. So as soon as I just sort of felt like, yep, she's being super steady and rideable and all those good things, I sort of lightened up my seat a little bit. And then you can really see almost immediately as soon as I do that, she sort of felt like she could use her back a little bit better. There I had to sit back down because she was wanting to break to the trot as we sort of left the gate. So I had to sort of sit down and send her forward. So funny, people always think these horses are so hot. It's so the opposite. And then this is just such a nice lofty canter she has. Great hind leg. So we took a little walk break after we did that left canter, which was actually kind of a mistake because it has been unbelievably wet and humid in Maryland, which has pros and cons. But one of the cons is that the bugs have been out of control and walking is just like dangerous. You just like become a bug magnet. So we tried to walk for a little bit and then we immediately just got swarmed by bugs. So we had to get right back to it. We had to literally outrun the bugs. So in the right canter, actually, it was interesting. She actually started to follow the contact a little bit, which was wonderful. So like here, she's starting to sort of follow to the end of the rein, which is really great and very smart of her. I love her ears. She has nice big ears for such a small little horse. They're very expressive and cute, bopping every which way, kind of keeping one ear on me and the other one bopping along, paying attention to everything else. So cute. Such a nice little mare. Yeah, and then this is really good here. So she's just sort of relaxing because now I've been riding her for probably about 10 minutes and she's just as we go, she's realizing that there's just nothing crazy going on, nothing about this is scary or overwhelming. It's all pretty simple and easy and it was nice to sort of feel her relax and follow out to the end of the rein a little bit in the canter. She's actually really steering quite well for a 3-year-old with 3 career starts, first post-track ride. This is really good. Her little ears are so cute going every which way. So she is on the market like crazy, outrageously, reasonably in the low mid 4 figures. I've still got, I think, 6 horses waiting for a spot to open up here. So somebody could get a really, really nice little mare for super, super cheap. And so here she is standing on cross ties. She's figuring, she's figuring this right out. Probably only her 3rd day ever of being asked to stand on cross ties. She's doing really well.